President Joe Biden along with First Lady Jill Biden, as you mentioned here, for the Moonshot program that was really reinvigorated a year ago. As you remember, the First Lady visited New Orleans in March of 2023 as they pumped more funding into the program, which hopes to eradicate cancer by 2047 by 50%. There it is. It's landing right there on the tarmac. You can see the wheels are down. Got a lot of reporters, a lot of photographers here that we're kind of going to maneuver around as we're trying to get that shot for you, as it's going to circle here, going to land on the tarmac. As you can see, you can kind of hear it. Yeah, making that descent there, and it's going to circle around. Also want to show you real quick, Drew, show them the motorcade. You can see the motorcade that's here to welcome the president as soon as he steps off of the plane. Inside here of the Signature Aviation Building, which again is right outside the normal area of Armstrong International. We saw dignitaries like Cedric Richmond was inside, Congressman Troy Carter, Mayor LaToya Cantrell, Mitch Landrieu, which has been part of the Biden administration. All of them are awaiting his arrival inside. But again, the big focus of this trip, Travers, is of course the Cancer Moonshot program. They're trying to pump more and more money into this program to really help so many people here in Louisiana. We've learned that $150 million in original grants are now being pumped into that program, with about $400 million in ARPA funding that was initially allocated for that as well. I want to show you as well, you can see Mayor LaToya Cantrell. She's walking here on the tarmac, getting ready to greet the president here as he begins to step off of the plane. We're waiting for Air Force One again to circle back around. So they're bringing a lot of those dignitaries out who are again going to be here to welcome him. You can see Congressman Troy Carter. You see Cedric Richmond there. A lot of folks who are, again, are waiting for him here. We've got even more people waiting for him over at Tulane, which is where he's supposed to be making a speech later on today at 3:30 regarding the additional funding for Cancer Moonshot. So again, we're waiting for that plane to kind of circle back around as these dignitaries and local leaders are kind of making their way here to welcome the president and First Lady Jill Biden here. As we mentioned, she was here last year, March of 2023. President Biden's last trip here to New Orleans was back in 2021 here for that infrastructure program, trying to pump more money into Louisiana for our roadways, our bridges. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's walking out. Yes, I'm looking at him right now. Just stepped off of Air Force One, threw his hands in the air like he was greeting an old friend, which is what we like to do here in New Orleans. Dr. Jill Biden there hugging Mitch Landrieu at the moment, talking to him. The president kind of standing behind the vehicle. I don't know if you can get a good shot of him through that vehicle, but he's right on the other side of that black luxury vehicle. But again, Mitch Landrieu, Mitch's wife, speaking with Dr. Jill Biden. I'm looking at Congressman Carter is behind there as well, along with Mayor Cantrell. But again, it kind of looks like a greeting of old friends. Many of them have spoken before. This is not their first trip to New Orleans. They know these faces. And as you mentioned earlier, Travers, these are the faces that have really catapulted New Orleans over the years following Hurricane Katrina. You know, you had the Mitch Landrieu administration that came through doing a lot of rebuilding efforts. We're over here at Armstrong International Airport during Mitch's tenure. This is, you know, the airport that got built underneath his administration there. But again, you've got Cedric Richmond there speaking alongside Dr. Jill Biden there speaking. I think that's Mitch Landrieu's wife that she is speaking to at the moment. But again, making the greeting. Yeah, and I mean, again, the president's about to make his way down to New Orleans at this hour. He's, again, shaking hands here with Congressman Carter, several other of our local leaders here on the tarmac before getting into that vehicle. As you mentioned earlier, where Aubrey is, there's a lot of people who are waiting his arrival. He's kept some of the things close to the vest as far as research and some of the announcements that he plans to make later on today. But we do know some great technology is hopefully going to be coming to our area to, again, better some of the research and also to detect cancer a little earlier. Again, he just stepped into that vehicle. You've got some of our local leaders, again, stepping away from this area so they can roll that motorcade out, which means in just a few minutes, most of those interstates will be inaccessible. And also just expect more traffic too to even get onto those on-ramps. So if you're thinking that you can get onto those on-ramps, that's going to be a problem for you as well. Those are going to be backed up a good bit. But they're about to drive off after touching down here at Armstrong International Airport with Air Force One, touting that moonshot program, Travers, the cancer moonshot program, which is looking to cut those cancer deaths in half by 2047, a very lofty goal. We're talking roughly 4 million people. And here in Louisiana, again, we've got some of those higher rates. We're on the higher side of things, which doesn't really bode well for us. You've got a lot of environmental circumstances that don't really work in our favor, and a lot of genetic issues as well. So many families, I mean, myself included, you know, I lost my husband 5 years ago to cancer. So you know what these families are going through whenever you hear that word and you hear that diagnosis of having cancer in your life. It doesn't just impact you, it impacts everyone around you, not just your family, but your friends and your coworkers. And it's just a ripple effect through your community when you find that out. And unfortunately, here in Southeast Louisiana, we tend to find that out far too late. We love to live, right? But sometimes we got to learn how to take care of ourselves too. I don't mean to preach, but you know, sometimes you got to make those trips to the doctor and take that time off of work sometimes to be able to do so. Inflation's hitting everybody hard these days. It's hard to take off of work. It's hard to not have a paycheck for a day, especially if you're getting paid by the hour. So hopefully with this money getting pumped into Louisiana, and again, we're talking $23 million, Congressman Carter alluded to possibly more money coming to our state, which would make it even better. But this is going to research. This is going to detecting cancer at an earlier stage instead of getting that cancer diagnosis at stage 3, at stage 4, and getting that word from your doctor that you only have months left to live. That is to go and to turn that around here for our state. And let's hope that they can do that. Let's hope that this translates into a positive thing for Southeast Louisiana. Right now, you can see the motorcade driving off, the president there inside with First Lady Jill Biden. They're about to head down from the ramps here onto I-10. I know we have Storm Patrol 6 out there monitoring the roadways for us. Kelly Brown in studio tracking the traffic. And we need to make sure that you guys realize this if you're watching.